Thing, don't be a drifter and don't just drift through life and just let life happen. If you don't plan your day, your life, somebody else is gonna plan your day. If you don't plan your life, somebody else will plan your life. If you don't plan out what you want to do with yourself, eventually you're gonna work for a company where that person who owns the company is rich and he's decided what you're gonna do with your life. Or normal, most people are mediocre. I'm not saying this talking down on people. I'm just saying most people, they're not gonna say they're happy. They're not happy or they're not satisfied with their normal life, but they settle for it because they don't want to have to do the things to go out and have extraordinary life or have a non-conformist lifestyle. Basically, most people are drifters. I mean, that's another way Napoleon Hill listed it. There's a lot of people explain it like that. A lot of people are drifters. So the non-drifters are the ones who go against the resistance, against the tide, and they create something different. And those people are the ones who have to go through the most trial and error. They have to learn from their losses. And those type of people can't just have normal habits and expect to achieve great results. So it's like nothing. Don't be a drifter and don't just drift through life and just let life happen. If you don't plan your day, your life, somebody else gonna plan your day. If you don't plan your life, somebody else will plan your life. If you don't plan out what you want to do with yourself, eventually you're gonna work for a company where that person who owns the company is rich and he's decided what you're gonna do with your life. You might be, oh, I have benefits, I have that, I have this, but in reality you're just in modern day slavery and you don't know it. And it don't matter how much money you make, what you're doing. You could be making $100,000 a year, and if your bills are $90,000 a year, you're still stuck to that job. Now you have something that's keeping you stuck there. And the one thing that you can establish is just get all the habits in place. And another thing, the statistic I think I want to say is about 80% or it's about over 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, which is really just baffles me because it's just crazy because I can't even imagine living paycheck to paycheck. I've been in those situations, and when I'm in that situation, I'm just so stressed. Like I need to get out of this hole. I don't want to live my life like this. And one of the things you can do is do your best to save up at least 6 months of your monthly expenses. So at any given time, if you're at a job you don't like, that you really can't deal with, and I don't mean like just to where you have too much ego, you can't deal with other people. I just mean at a job to where you really hate it. You have that flexibility of 6 months of your paid expenses to leave whenever you want and go and try out other things. Or you might want to start a business, or if you have 6 months of your expenses put away, you kind of have a flexibility that you don't regularly have. Even if you have a family, you can do this. It'll give you some sort, or if you want to move. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do with your life, and if you have this set up, it puts you to where you're not in a constant state of anxiety. I do things so I'm not fully stressed all the time. I plan out my day. I plan out my week. My weeks are planned days ahead. Like my day, like today, the time that I'm spending today was planned last week. I already had wrote down most of the things. There's only on a daily basis. Every night before I start my next day, I make sure I have that next day planned. Every day before I go to sleep, I have my clothes ready for the next morning. I have my pre-workout ready in the morning. I have everything ready in one area, so when I wake up, I don't have to think no more. All I have to do is put on my clothes, drink my pre-workout, take off to the gym. It's already all ready. I'm setting myself up for success. I'm setting my next day. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you really want to do something, regardless of the circumstances, which even applies to having a family, you can still do it. And that's one thing I'll make sure that, I mean, I obviously don't have a kid here yet, but I've been in situations like, for example, when I worked in the oil field, I think the longest I worked over there was I worked 135 hours in 1 week. And so I worked 135 hours of labor in this 1 week, and on top of that, I still worked out 5 times that week. I still ate good that week. So I still did all my other things I needed to do, because when you work, 135 hours, there's 165 hours in a week, I believe. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about sleeping 3 hours, sometimes not getting no sleep at night. And I still make sure that I worked out and did the things I need to do, because if I don't do these things that I know I need to do, I'll get depressed. Right. Because I'm scared, because then what if I don't do these things and then I become civilized and I don't work out no more, and then I give up on my other habits, and then I become average. I become a normal person, and then I go and I become old, and time goes by and I died, and I was just a normal person who didn't do nothing with themselves. Which is okay if you're fine with that, but I'm scared of that. I'm scared of doing and living my life like that. I don't want to be remembered as just somebody who's just normal and just live a normal life. I don't want to be that type of person. And on top of that, with having a baby on the way, I need to set the example and set the standard for what I expect. So in reality, I need to achieve something myself. if I can expect things from my kids. Like there's a lot of parents who, like I say, when I go to gyms, stuff like that, they train their kids, but the parents out of shape. Or parents who put their kids in martial arts, but the parent doesn't know how to fight. You know, so they're living their life now through their kid, which in reality, because they didn't do it in their life. So I want to achieve things in my life and then have my kid do the same things and put them on game on the things that I learned and make him not have to go through the same trial and error, but make him learn the lessons from everything that he's doing. So that's my goal, and I think a kid should amplify your success. It shouldn't slow it down. Same way I think a relationship should amplify your success. It shouldn't slow you down. There's a lot of guys who have kids or they get a relationship and they let that defeat them. And then they blame it on the other person. In reality, you're the man. You have to establish the boundaries, get your partner on the same page, and also get your kid on the same page. And I mean, obviously, I've never raised kids, so I don't know yet how it's going to be. But I know people who have achieved great success and they have kids, so they can do it. Then I know I can establish some type of boundaries and do the exact same things. So,
right. Well, you know, and I think that's a good